Hi, everybody. I'm Damien Cross at DC_F1 on Twitter, and welcome to ZoomZoomers on Bank Holiday Monday, 31st of August 2020. Still during the lockdown, of course. There's still some lockdowns in place, but we're going to let the guys in now because I know you're not here to see me. So give them a warm welcome when they come in. I can see a few familiar names here. We have Alan, we have Cammie, we have Richard, Near, Joe. Alan, can you hear me okay today?
I can hear you just fine, Damien, as long as you can hear me.
I can hear you as well. That's you're quite clear today, Alan, which is quite nice. Near, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Excellent. Yeah, good. And Joe?
Yes, yeah, all good here.
Cool. We've got a few people with their cameras off at the moment. Richard, we've got Cammie as well.
Richard's back.
Hello.
Richard is back. It's been a few weeks, hasn't it? So he's graced us with his presence again after a fantastic trip away. So we'll go through the introductions as always, but we let more people in as we go along. Alan, if you could let us know your name and your Twitter handle, please.
Hi there, I'm Alan Bradley. I am a presenter of the Motoring Podcast, and my Twitter handle is at AJP Bradley. That's BRADLEY.
Fantastic. Thanks, Alan. Joe.
Joe Tanner at Stuff About Cars, and I work for an OEM.
Excellent. Thank you. Near.
Near Kahn, I'm a vehicle designer. I'm at near_Kahn.
Excellent. And
You're
Cammie?
point, aren't you?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Hold it. I am Cammie Sturch of Cammie Racing. My Twitter handle is at Cammie Racing, and I'm a graphic designer and esport racer for Team Fordzilla.
So you've done the classic Near thing there. You've gone the wrong corner because we see it in the other corner from you. Yeah, never mind. Lesson learned.
I learned the hard way.
Oh,
never mind. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's where you're. Yeah, next to the fan. Yeah. Richard.
I'm Rich Gooding. I'm a motoring writer and graphic designer, and my Twitter handle is at richgooding.com.
Excellent. Now, Richard, since the last time you've been here, the ZoomZoomers have become a lot more manageable in terms of size. It's not 15, 20 people all trying to clamber for a word in edgeways. So there's a few more people to come during the night, but it's hopefully going to be a bit more time to chat. So
longer episodes too.
Sorry?
Longer episodes too, I see.
They've been creeping up because we kind of get to the point where we just start going off on too many tangents, and I mean, we try to rein it in. We'll see how close we can get to the hour this time, but yeah, it's going to be unlikely.
Damien's going to cut off any waffling.
That's me stumped, isn't it? Yeah.
Dear. But Richard, since you've last seen us, you've actually been out and about and in France, from what I can make out. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it was basically a trip. My other half has a flat down in Nîmes, near the south coast. And to cut a long story short, it was a trip to get it ready for selling. Had it 7 years, and because of not getting there this year, because of the B word next year, we don't know how easy it will be. So it was basically a trip down there to try and clear it out and get it ready for sale. But we did have a few days out because we took our T5 camper van because we didn't fancy the train because of obvious reasons. And yeah, we took 2 days getting down there, 3 days coming back, used the van when we were down there, visited places on the south coast, did the old Reims street circuit on the way back, which I know Alan's done. Last Tuesday. So yeah, it was really, really nice.
Good. Did you get the iconic photo at Reims as well? There's often
we did. I can find it on here. Oh, I've just lost it. I had it up a minute ago. There we go. It looks a bit odd because we thought people are going to wonder why I was taking photographs of a van.
Right.
A thing, but
yeah, nice one. The iconic photo.
But no, if no one's been there, I would say definitely go because it's amazing.
Yeah. And is it so where did you actually go in France? Did you do a bit of a tour? Did you go to a destination and head back?
Well, we went down to Nîmes first, stayed overnight at a place, I think Alan knows how to pronounce it better than I do. Troyes? Yeah. Stayed there first.
That place, yeah.
And then we drove, on the way back, we drove via the Millau Viaduct first, then through the Mastiff Central, and then back to near Clermont-Ferrand for the first campsite, and the second night was the first campsite that we stayed at going out. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then back via Calais again.
Ah,
So it was
okay,
good. It was
so-
1,917 miles in a week
Wow.
for 12 days. And considering it's a van that was a builder's van up until last year,
Yeah.
and it was converted not by us but by the guy who sold it as a whole package, it was brilliant. You know,
Good.
86,000 miles, only 84 horsepower. So there were a few instances where it was wanting a little bit.
Yeah.
And apart from some oil on the last day coming home, which was, I think, the most expensive oil we've ever bought, it was €16.60 for a litre,
Right.
which is quite expensive.
Yeah.
But it put the oil warning light out, so that was good.
Yeah.
It was cheaper than a new engine anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's our reasoning, yeah. So, but no, it was brilliant. It didn't put a foot wrong. It was brilliant.
Excellent. So this is a Volkswagen camper van that you had. So
Yeah.
you've how long have you owned that now then?
It was Easter last year. The only thing I
okay.
would say is that going down there, it was very hot, and because
Right.
it was a basic van, it's got wind-up windows and no air conditioning. So it was
Ah.
either have the windows open and not hear the radio, or have the windows closed and hear the radio and roast. So
Yeah.
See, I was
yeah.
in a race car that had air conditioning. Like, even race cars have air conditioning now. That
Well,
was
we've got those wind deflector things on the windows, but they still generate quite a lot of noise.
I bet. What race car was that then, Cammie? Because you were down at Brands Hatch this weekend, weren't you?
I was. It was such fun. That was a Ginetta G40.
And it had aircon.
Yeah. The driver was now I've just looked at Andrew Ryan and suddenly I can't remember my train of thought. Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen
He has
Ray.
that effect. Yeah.
Plus, it's got the similar name. And so the driver
Oh,
was
right.
Andy Cohen Ray, and he races a Ginetta G40. And he said, "Oh, do you want to lift down to the paddocks?"
Yeah.
I didn't need to go to the paddocks at all. I knew I'd just have to walk back immediately. But I was like, "Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have a ride in a
Yeah.
Ginetta."
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
he said, "Oh, it's a road legal car. I drive it to the track and then race it at the track and then drive it home. And it's got air conditioning. No soundproofing, but air conditioning."
Brilliant. So did he actually compete at the weekend then?
Yeah, he did. The first race, it didn't go so well because I think the race lasted 3 laps because I don't know what, it got red flagged for something.
Oh,
and
right.
then
Okay.
Quite a few of the races got red flagged and a lot of yellow flags came out. It was a bit of a mix up.
Everyone's a bit out of practice at the moment. Was this historic race? Oh, I suppose with Ginetta G40s, it was modern racing, wasn't it? Wasn't
It was
like a
the
historic
weekend
one?
for the British GT
Oh, okay. Okay.
with
fair enough.
the world's fastest gamer in Team Jensen, which is a sim racer who was given the chance to do it for real. And he was just, by 10 laps, he had pulled out a 10-second lead.
Right.
Making the other drivers look silly.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. So were you there on duty, if you like, as a esports racer, or were you there just as a
No.
fan?
Just as a fan, and
Just a
the
fan.
night before, Andy said, "Oh, I've got a paddock pass if you want." So that was
Oh,
nice,
I
and he
see.
gave me this lovely bracelet
Oh,
like, it's
lovely.
in his car colours.
Oh, I see.
So that was very lovely.
That is nice. And this hat you've got, that's W series. That's on the hat. Have you seen any of those races in real life yet?
I only, like, in person, I've been to see them at Brands Hatch,
Right.
but obviously this year they've just been doing the esports malarkey. But
Yeah.
my hope is that if they run a second season, they'll open the esport league to more sim racers, because I think the beauty of esports is that you can have anyone sort of compete against the professionals, and then it's, for the layperson watching, it's like, well, how good is a pro? You can compare. It's like watching a normal person in a running race with Usain Bolt. It gives you a new appreciation for how fast Usain Bolt is. If you watch John, who weighs 15 stone, bricklayer, whatever, having a go.
Yeah. It should be good fun. Yeah, there's a lot to think about for these race series over the winter when the racing all stops. And now that there's all this preparation been done for esports, and it's shown that it can work during lockdown, hopefully we'll see a lot more of it over the winter. I've got a couple more guests here. So if I could just ask Andrew, first of all, for your full name and your Twitter handle, please. Oh, Andrew, we can't hear you right now. You like to switch your microphone on? He's saying something. What you do?
He's trying to
Frozen.
communicate. I know it.
Yeah.
What is
First
it, boy?
word sounds like.
What is it, boy? Somebody falling down the well.
1 minute. Okay.
Who can lip read?
I'm not sure. Can you hear us, Andrew?
I
Oh,
can
that's
hear
okay.
you,
Well,
Nico.
we'll start with Conor because this is Conor's first time on a ZoomZoomers anyway. So, Conor, if you could let us know your full name and your Twitter handle as well, please.
Hi, Damien. My name is Conor Twomey, and it's @Conor Twomey. That's my Twitter handle. Thanks for having me, by the way. It's just great to be here.
Yeah, it's really nice to have new people along as well. And it's good to have you here because I know you've been up to a few bits during lockdown. Of course, this being your first time on ZoomZoomers, we're going to grill you about that. So I heard something about a Lotus as well. Have you been working on a Lotus, or have I completely made that up?
No, maybe. Yeah, it's sort of. I was occupied my Twitter feed for the past probably going on about 3 months now. And this is the first weekend that I haven't obsessively filled it with my nonsense because because there's been so many household chores that I have not done that my
Right,
wife
okay.
put her foot down at the bank holiday and says, "You are doing the household stuff." So it had to happen this weekend. So the car got a bit of a break.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. Now, because it's your first time on ZoomZoomers, at some point we'll do a track day own scraps. I'm not sure if you've seen any of these before, but what we'll do is we'll generate 3 cars for you, and we'll ask you to tell us which one you'd track day, which one you'd own, and which one you'd scrap. Before we do that, though, I see Andrew has no longer got his
Yeah, I have
screen on mute.
Yeah, I seem to have a British Leyland Apple computer. It works every other time, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I'm Andrew Ryan, and I'm Car Factoids, and I'm sure you've seen me on Instagram and also on Twitter.
Yes, yeah, we have seen you still coming out with loads of factoids about the heyday of the British car industry. If you can.
I don't know if there's a heyday. I suppose the heyday or the low day, depending on your view. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of writing on the doing a lot of stuff on Instagram at the moment about the Rover SD1 and the
Okay.
S. So high point in some ways. So
Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, when are we going to see that kind of stuff? Is it dripping out now, or are you?
Generally, well, on Instagram it comes out every day. So after I finish here, I'll be putting it up on Instagram.
Okay.
So basically, it's actually anything that's been on Twitter. I actually now gradually putting it onto Instagram as well. So
Right.
so at the moment, I think I've done a month on the Rover SD1. I know it sounds terrible, doesn't it?
Wow.
But no, it's interesting because it gets good experience on the different platforms and everything else, and then obviously tipping away on doing general factoids and other stuff and everything else on Twitter.
Cool, thanks for that. Yeah, keep it coming because we all love it. Now, Joe, I'll go back to you because I think last time we spoke to you, or maybe the time before, you said that you had a new car coming. Has that arrived yet, or is that
It's still a week and 2 days.
a week or 2 days? What was it again? A Corsa E?
Yeah, Corsa E. So first venture into electric cars.
Excellent. Oh, are you able to charge this one at home, or?
Yes,
Have you
the
got enough to
wall
wait?
box gets fitted the day before the car comes. So
Okay.
it should it should all work. That's the plan.
It should all work. Yeah. Okay. Good luck with that. Okay. So next time, if you're on Zoomers next week, then we props you won't have had it then. So
No,
not
no.
to worry.
Give me a couple of weeks and I'll talk about it.
Yeah, I would love to hear about it because we don't hear Vauxhall crop up very often when we talk about this next generation of cars, electric cars. But yeah, but you're interested to see how they do. I guess you're going to make sure that they come out sounding incredible. But I'm sure you can give us. Yeah,
I can be fair. I can be fair.
You could be fair. That'd be really, really nice if you. Yeah, fantastic. And Alan, so you, of course, for people who don't already know, if anyone doesn't know, have a weekly podcast that comes out. How has that been going this week?
It's good. Yes. So this coming week, again, we're recording Tuesday night, and then there should be a special edition out on Friday.
Okay.
But more to the point, the big thing this week is that it's been 3 years since Andrew and I lapped the UK in a Hyundai Ioniq EV.
Oh, right.
and yeah, which feels like ages ago now.
Yeah.
And well, we actually made it. There you go. There's a spoiler alert.
Spoiler, yeah.
But yeah, the idea was to check out and see if the EV charging infrastructure 3 years ago, so it's almost double what it was now.
Yeah.
What it was then now.
Yeah.
It's to see if you could actually do it. And much to our surprise, we did. So 3 years ago today, I was driving it was Hull to Inverness via Aberdeen. Don't ever do that, anyone.
All right.
That was a relatively long day.
Right.
but yeah.
Okay. But the car stood up well.
Yeah. Oh, the car was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a kind of funny one. I guess I can probably tell the story now. But at the time, we were asked not to talk too much about the car. So Hyundai lent us the car and said, away you go.
But don't talk about
But gonna not talk too much about the car because it's really all about the charging infrastructure.
Right.
And yeah, so we didn't. And everybody said, tell us more about the car. And it was like, oh, we can't really tell you more about the car. So we'll keep avoiding that question. And it turned out I learned much later that actually the other press Ioniq EV had quite a nasty failure on another sort of gig they were doing, or just a failure. And so nobody, not even Hyundai, thought we were actually going to make it.
Oh, okay.
So we'd been specifically asked not to talk about the Ioniq, but it was fantastic. I keep sort of every now and again when I'm thinking, oh, I should have a more sensible car as well as the 1.5 Yaris. If I was going for an EV, then it's sort of first one on the list because I'm still incredibly fond of them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hold on a second. Hyundai were basically worried you weren't going to make it and wanted to lay the groundwork to make sure that you were going to blame the infrastructure and not the car.
No. They weren't nearly that cruel. If they thought that was going to be the case, they wouldn't have let the car in the first place.
They didn't think you were going to make it, but this was a car they were planning to sell.
No, there's a car that was on sale if you could get hold of one.
On sale, but they were like, we're not sure.
Well,
Don't
nobody
make it.
thought
And the
we
other
were gonna
press
make
team
it.
didn't make it.
Well, we didn't even know if we were going to make it.
How can they sell a car if they're not even sure it will finish a journey?
Yeah, but it was a ridiculous
That was
thing
a hell of a
to
journey.
do. It's a journey from hell, Cammie. It's completely that they would take.
I thought you said Hull, or maybe it's the same place.
All it would have taken was 2 chargers when we needed them in the very northwest tip of Scotland to not be working. And we would have had to be on the back of a transporter and not making it. As it turned out, that was one of the easiest parts because one of the very few useful things Nicola Sturgeon has ever done is put in a free fast charging infrastructure right around Scotland. The only place I actually had an issue was at the top of the M6 toll on my way home from Andrews.
Right.
I think it's worth remembering. Sorry, if I can jump in there. That we still celebrate the London to Brighton to this day. We still recreate it with these little put cars. This is where we are now in electrification. This is what electrification is. We're figuring out how these things work. So the idea of driving from London to Brighton was this massive big deal, and also all these little cars are set up 120 years ago. So that's where we are in terms of electric cars. Yeah, I get it that the cars themselves are. There's a lot more technology and a lot more there to help us, but just it's 2 years ago that was a brave thing for Hyundai to do. I mean, I was watching all that happening in real time. And I was like, hats off to them. That's a brave thing to do to risk letting a bunch of very, very cynical journalists loose in some electric cars that because at the time so much has happened in 2 years. At the time. Electric cars. It was filth. It was just you just don't speak of them. They're disgusting. How dare you? So yeah, they cut a bit of a sway there, and I was really impressed with that. And the cars themselves, I think they did really well.
Yeah,
isn't it the case though with electric cars that I remember watching a video. Did anyone see that video that your man did? What's his name? Ian Hubnut did about he drove a Jaguar to Scotland and back. And he had all kinds of problems. He because he'd go to the chargers and they wouldn't work in some places. I mean, that's the danger.
I remember that. Yeah, the I-Pace. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I had an electric car for a few days, and I didn't actually have a charger at home. So I was kind of like, and it's amazing the variability when you go to certain chargers. How sometimes they work very well and sometimes they don't work.
You're you don't, because you're starting to wind me up. Because this is a real thing of mine. Because I'm very lucky. I live somewhere there's quite a few chargers around. I don't have one myself because I don't have an electric car. And so yeah, there's a couple of things. First is a little bit of planning goes a very, very long way. And you also learn that there are certain chargers which, depending on the type of charge plug you have, you will probably choose to avoid. And those are generally the ones along the motorways. Don't use them. They're shit. Frankly, I mean, that's the conclusion I came to. It's the conclusion I stand by. They're just not good. Sorry, David. I've given you an editing challenge now.
There's no editing.
And so welcome to our world.
Actually, I was curious. I've not been here before. I was curious as to what level of cursing was allowed.
That's about the maximum, I think. I possibly
Fair enough.
There's
nothing I can really do to stop it. It's on the internet, so there's not really much regulation going on. But
well, the internet is a very prudish place, so I'll bear that in mind.
Can I ask a question about the electric chargers? I know this possibly happens more in America, but it's when you get arseholes with petrol cars parking in electric car bays, which stops electric car owners using them. And in America, I've seen it with like pickup trucks going, you're like, oh, fuck you, Tesla.
Called
I don't know if
icing.
that happens here.
Icing. So we did.
What's it called?
We had
Icing.
internal combustion engine.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah. Deliberately smearing your pickup truck across as many electric bays as you can.
Have you come across it in the UK then, when you've had to charge?
A little bit. We had it once on that trip, and we charged many, many times. And that was because the charger had only been installed 2 days before, activated, I think, the day before we went to use it, and it still hadn't had the lines painted to say don't park here.
Right.
So somebody parked there. So,
Forgive
it's a
me.
pain. You'd think you'd notice the ruddy great white box, but clearly not. And there was nothing to say, please don't park
I
here.
think things perhaps have changed in the last 3 years as well,
Yeah.
because a lot's changed in the last 3 years in terms of electric car charging, and people are hopefully quite used to it, and understand that you leave those spaces for the electric car guys. Richard,
sorry, I've taken us off on a huge, massive sideways tangent. I'm so sorry.
No, I think it's great having these tangents. I think I like having going off these things,
Yeah, we must ask.
I'm known for taking all my meetings off in tangents, by the way. So if there's an agenda, if there's something you're trying to work towards, Damien, then you're not going to get there. I'm just telling you that right now. I'll just
Chairperson skills are
I have my ways.
Damien.
Ask me the points you want me to make.
I am able to mute people. So Richard, Richard, if we could have your thoughts.
You have the power.
No, I was just going to say there's even etiquette when it comes to EV owners. I remember when we had the Outlander for a while. We were, and that's a whole nother thing. Fevs and charge points don't go down.
Oh wait, no. We're this is going to become a thing. This is going to be a conversation.
No.
I'm not having this. Go on,
You're
finish your
doing
point.
so well.
Yeah, I know, right? No, it's kicking off. It's kicking off. Go on.
There was us there. I'm all for it. There was us there, and there was a Golf GTE there in an IKEA, and he was plugged in. The charger at IKEA has two pumps, if you like, or two nozzles, but only one pump. So only one person can charge at a time.
Oh.
And they're two different fittings, or they were then anyway. So one was type 1, one was type 2. And the Golf was plugged in, but it wasn't charging. So we went into IKEA, told them that it wasn't charging. We wanted to use it. They eventually got the guy to go out to the car. He plugged it in properly, then it charged. He would let us know when he'd done. In the end, he didn't. We plugged in, I mean, I was all new to it then. We plugged in the type 1 charger to the Outlander, ready to go when he was finishing. And because he'd gone by the time we went back down again, a Leaf had pulled up, taken the charger off the Outlander, plugged it into their car, and was charging. So I banged on the window, and it's not often I get cross, but I banged on the window and said, "What are you doing? You know, we were all ready to go. Oh, but you weren't there, mate." It's like, well, we waited for like 2 hours.
Yeah, how long ago was this then? Have we seen things progress, do you think, since then, about the etiquette of it all? Or...
I hope so.
Yeah.
Is
How long
that
ago was it?
stop you just taking it out of somebody else's car?
Yeah.
Does it lock, or can you just take it out of somebody else's car
It
and put
locks
it in
when
yours?
it locks when it's charging. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, but not when it's not.
Yeah, I suppose it depends. I mean, you're not. I know you're not supposed to charge in a supercharger, isn't that right? The Tesla supercharger thing. You can't do that because that's
You can't. You can't. If you physically won't fit now. And,
Yeah.
Elon will send his swarm of monkeys down to basically burn your car if you try and do that. That won't happen.
No, I know that. No, it's just, I mean, because the whole plan for me when I had an electric car was could you run an electric car without a home charger? And like I actually found it quite acceptable because there's a charger down the road from me. Now Conor might know this because he's Irish, but there's a
We'll know everybody. We'll know each other.
It's the Irish mafia at work again.
It's
down the
it's
road.
only because Neil's not here.
Oh, I don't need to tell you. You know where it is.
Yeah, well, there's an Irish charger. Well, you know, there's an Irish charger down an Irish charger.
An Irish charger.
Sounds like the beginning of a joke.
Right? 3 chargers walk into a pub.
Yeah. It goes begosh and begara. Yeah. No, there's a charge on the road for me that's completely free. So I mean, so it's down by a park. So I could stick it in the. I could get it. This is when those old gyms are all closed and all that. So I was able to charge the car, go for a walk, and then come back again. But then when you're charging it, you always see other people who are charging at the same time. And then I always remember there's a guy in front of me who had a Tesla who was around. All these cyclists of a certain age were all around the Tesla, and he was telling how he could drive the car with, it was autonomous driving and all that stuff. I did think of the Motoring podcast though when he was chatting away there. Though.
I can't imagine why. It's not me.
I know.
The other one, the other guy.
Yeah.
Well, it
I
proves
feel
I
like
listen to your
a
podcast.
solution to the electric car problem would be just to stick a diesel generator in the boot, and then if you ever need extra juice while you're not by a charger, you just whack on the diesel generator. I mean, it probably takes away some of the benefits of an electric car, but
Not entirely.
Not
It's
entirely.
probably quite a good way of doing it.
Black
Before
smoke coming out. Yeah,
before
I've got
we forget to say hello to LA, just in case she has to switch device, because I'm not sure if you're going to have to do that. LA, could you just let us know your name and your Twitter handle, please?
Yeah, so it's LA and it's at @1_LA on Twitter.
Excellent. And you think that you might have to switch device because you're quite clear on my screen, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, well, I prefer my laptop because you can get the gallery view, and I don't know how to put it on my phone. And then my phone is I don't know, there's something wrong with this. I can't get on tonight for some reason, so my laptop's now saying I need to download it, but I've already got it. It's already there. I come on every week.
You were here last week.
I was here last week and the other 20 weeks.
Yeah.
So well, I'm probably better off staying on here at the minute, but I don't like my phone because you can, I don't know, some.
So you can only see one of us at a time, or?
Well, yeah, I don't. Somebody said you can get gallery view on your phone, but I don't know how to get it.
Is it an Apple device? Is it?
Yeah, iPhone. Yeah.
So it's out of my knowledge.
I think you can get 4 at a time, no more than that, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's a bit rubbish. That's why I prefer my laptop.
Are you all worried that we're pulling faces at you while everyone else is talking? Because it is actually happening right now.
I like to see all your pretty faces.
Oh, that's very nice.
But the thing with my iPhone is I've got nowhere to put it, so I'm just holding it. So when we get to red and green, I've only got one hand.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a moment. I don't suppose, LA, since I'm talking to you, have you had a chance to have a think about the theme of the week, or is this kind of passed you by? Because often sometimes it gets hidden in the chat. And the theme of the week was the worst real car names, so worst cars that actually exist. Have you had a thought about what cars out there sound absolutely ridiculous?
I did, but what's everybody said so far? Because I don't want to say.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, you're leading the way.
Are you ready? Well,
yeah,
sorry if you've got this. Sorry, not sorry. Well, actually, I've got 3.
Well, just have one for now, and then in case you get someone else's. Yeah,
because it's a bit of a theme, you see.
Right,
so we've got the Dodge Dart Swinger.
Dodge Dart Swinger.
Yes. You know, apparently it's all about keeping your keys in a bowl, so or something like that. Yeah, that's yeah. You know me and my American cars, so I had to pick an American car, obviously. But yeah, apparently here we go. So do you keep your cars in about key cars in about? Oh God, what? This is my fibro. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right.
Do you keep your car keys in a bowl with lots of other keys at a party, or do you play baseball? My bad. So that's the Dodge Swinger.
What was that? When you just that wasn't an advert or something, was it?
No, it was a website. I recognise it.
I'll do you.
I've been on the same website, I think.
Yeah, it's the.
Do we want to know this?
Drive Tribe.
I was on Drive Tribe. Okay. I see.
Yeah, so there you go. So yeah, I've got a bit of a naughty theme this week. So sorry, not sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Thanks for that. Nia, have you got one for this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave Alan the one that is on brand for Alan, but he doesn't have to.
Okay.
It's okay. On you go, because I've got plenty.
Oh blimey!
Oh God, I've only got one.
Now I'm going to stick with the one that we discussed offline or online before, which is the Nissan Silvia, simply because they stuck with that name for decades, even though it's quite clearly not the name of a sports car. It's the name of your great aunt or some elderly relative or something like that.
It is actually the name of my grandmother. Yeah,
same. Yes. My grandmother's name was Silvia.
So, I mean, there are plenty. I mean, there are plenty awkward Japanese car names where you kind of get the feeling that they didn't get how it would sound kind of to Western ears.
Yeah.
And they generally realize their mistake and move on. But with the Silvia, they didn't. There's like generation after generation after generation that kind of sub Z car, rear wheel drive Nissan sports car was called the Silvia from, I think, since the late 60s or since the early 70s. So they never really gave up on it. It's like they never quite realized sound right.
The Nissan Karen.
So that's what I'm going with, and I'm sticking with that.
Oh no, not the Nissan Karen. That would be horrible. That would be
horrible. Yeah. Nissan have had some normal names though. So Andrew, have you had a think about this?
Yeah, I have actually had a few. I'm glad Nir didn't say what I was going to say, because I unlike Alan, I have a few, because I only had a few moments to think about this. Well, there's obviously you've got the Nissan Cedric, and you've got the Nissan Gloria. I think, no, I don't know the difference between the Cedric and the Gloria. I'm going to guess one of them was a hardtop. So there's that. That's that. It ended up in the UK, I think, eventually as the 280C and the 300C, but they were known as the Cedric and the Gloria.
Right. Okay. I'm sure someone will point out on Twitter.
Gloria and Silvia. What were they thinking? It's like they just went into an old aged home and looked at the names on the doors.
Well, I honestly think this is the thing. You see, it's where somebody picks. If they're not a native language speaker, they'll think of a name. And the Japanese often had a link with old British cars for some reason. They seem to, and maybe they felt that was a suitably luxurious name.
Has Andrew become a ventriloquist, or has he stopped moving?
He stopped moving on my screen.
My computer has frozen here, so I'll keep talking if that's okay.
Yeah, we can hear you okay.
You can hear my voice. Sometimes it's better to hear my voice than see my face. It's
going to be a struggle in the red-green questions, but we'll be all right.
The other one is, there's a British one, and that's the Hornet.
Hornet.
There's a Hornet. There's a car called a Hornet, which is, I think that's a Wolseley.
I think it's a fun car name. I don't know. It's a silly name.
It's a good name.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, you see, the thing about it is, there's a relation to that, because there is also the famous car is the AMC Gremlin.
Bit of a weird name.
Oh, Joe. I think Joe's had his
I think we have to do one car each, otherwise we can accidentally cover everybody else's.
Well, let's go to Joe.
AMC Gremlin.
The AMC Gremlin.
Yeah, which was derived from the Hornet, because it's got a Hornet front end, which is why the bonnet is from a much bigger car. But,
okay.
Yeah, it's got all sorts of odd shapes on it with the back end. And
yeah. I still kind of think Hornet and Gremlin are still quite cool compared to Cedric and Gloria.
Yeah, probably.
But it wasn't whether it's cool or uncool. It was just the worst. So I think a lot of the cars out there, especially some of the Japanese cars, if you go through the special editions of some of their cars, you find some really strange names. Before we go into that though, let's try a few more. Now, Conor, you haven't had time to think about this, I guess. did anyone tell you? Probably me that was responsible for it. Did anyone give you a chance to think of a car that's got an incredibly weird name?
Well, the thing is, we've been into cars our whole lives, and my brother and I used to enjoy going through. There was this magazine. I can't remember what it was called. But it basically was every new car that was on sale. It was this weird. Does anybody remember this? It was this weird publication, this weird magazine. It was quite a thick publication, but it was like once a year, and it was a little bit of information, little factoid on every single car for sale around the world. And we this is probably going back 20 years.
Wasn't like a Daily Express or a Daily Mail kind of thing that came out around?
No. It was a standalone publication, and it appeared for a few years.
Yes. Observer. That one down there.
No, it's not that.
Holding.
It wasn't that. It wasn't a supplement that went with. It was a. I had like LA. I haven't figured out how to make all the.
Nick, if you could just talk so we can see you on our screen with your books, just in case Connor's.
The Observer's car books. I had one of these in my pocket when I was a teenager.
Yeah,
all kinds of very obscure foreign cars that you didn't hear about from anywhere else.
They look absolutely awesome, and I may be in touch with you to read all of those, but it wasn't those. And I will find them. I'll dig them out. They're at home. But there were these weird publications that we had, and so we used to trawl through these to see what was going on all over the world. And the thing we were always fascinated by was, what car was still in production. This was still, back when obscure Peugeot 504s were still on sale in Iran and being built there. So we used to love going through it, and then. We came across a few. I mean, I was a big fan of the Mazda Bongo Friendly.
Friendly. That's the one I was leaving for Alan.
Yeah. But the one that tickled us the most, it was actually a pickup truck. It was the Isuzu Giga Light Dump. And I just thought, what an excellent name for a vehicle. It's all there, right? What more can you want? And then there was also. My wife is from she's American, but her family's from Mexico. So she's Texan, but her family's from Mexico. And so there was a Mazda La Puta. And if you know Spanish, that's pretty harsh. Yeah. That is pretty harsh. Yeah. So we're driving around with that written on the back of your car. Pretty rude, pretty bad. But yeah, obviously with my Mitsubishi hat on, I can't ignore the charisma. Somebody's going to bring it up at some point. It's there. It's hanging out there. So on behalf of Mitsubishi, I do apologize for that. That might have been a slight misjudgment on our part. But there you go.
No, that's fine. It's a bit of a misnomer in the same way as Suzuki Swift is probably overselling it somewhat as well.
Thank you,
but
Damien.
again,
there's a good one actually. Sorry, I shut up. I thought I could have another one actually, but I'll shut up.
Okay, we'll leave that for.
From us. Yeah, there's a really bad one from associated with the Evos that it's not a great one. Is that where you're?
No,
is that where you're going on?
No. I'm thinking of another Japanese car actually. It just as you were saying, I think it was Damien actually. Kind of like he sparked something in my mind. I just thought about a name of a car.
We'll come to those in just a moment. Let's go to Cammie then, because I think she's itching to release.
Scared somebody's going to say it. It was the Toyota MR2.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which in French is MR2.
Yeah. And of course, it isn't called MR2 over there. No.
All right. On the theme of Conor's one, there was also in Mexico, you couldn't drive a Mitsubishi Pajero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
that was the
Yeah, you got it, Damien.
Yeah. Well, I used to work
for nice action, Damien. Well done.
That's what Pajero means.
You've done this before, haven't you?
That's what this show is. Fantastic. Thanks for that, Cammie. Alan.
Oh, right.
If you've got loads, shall we try Rich first?
Go for Rich first, because I have a whole spiel. Which
go on then.
Short, but...
Rich, we'll take yours.
Well, the Cedric's gone. The Bongo Friendly's gone. The Charisma's gone. So, a quick search on the Bongo Friendly turned up something that I didn't know, which looks like it's a badge engineered product. It's a Ford Frida.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Mazda. Yeah,
So
yeah, the
there you
Ford
go.
Frida.
That's one I didn't know about. So
Where was that sold?
Japan.
I'm guessing America.
No,
don't
it's
know.
the
No, it's-
Ford of Japan version of the Bongo Friendly. It was the Ford Frida. Yeah.
Ford Frida.
Freedom.
We
And
need to
then-
get all these together in some sort of like club for
Family
old people.
photo.
I think
Drink
Ford
the-
definitely had worse names than the Frida, like, you know, Escort
Yeah, Escort and Fiesta too.
and Probe.
Probe.
Yeah.
Well, they used to call it the Squire. The Squire. There's a funny advert. There's a funny advert of this guy with a pipe. They all had pipes in the 1950s, and he's got this kind of voice whereby he sounds like he'd make the Queen sound kind of like very common.
Right.
Car called a Country Squire. I think it was called a Escort Country Squire. And you know, back in the day when cars looked like they were kind of sideboards with wheels, you know.
Yeah. The Country Squire. So, Alan, I guess you've probably got some on your list there that we haven't said yet.
Yeah, well, but my award really, it kind of goes to a whole set of cars which all have just awful names, and they're all related, and it's all the Volkswagen Group SUVs.
Oh,
They've
okay.
all gone for these themes. So Seat has the Arona and the Ateca, and they're all meaningless. Volkswagen has the T-Cross, the T-Roc, the Tiguan, and the Allspace version, which I didn't know existed.
And the Touareg as
and
well.
the Touareg, and there is an exception to that. Everyone starting with T, which is the US market one, which is the Tullus, but the A is silent at the beginning. And then Skoda has the Kamiq, the Karoq, and the Kodiaq. And the fact that they just go and they try and they're all so flipping similar in each range, you completely forget what's what. But the overall winner from all of that, as far as I'm concerned, is the one that's actually unveiled tomorrow at 6 p.m. online, it seems, which is the Skoda Enyaq, which is just such an awful name. It's so ugly.
Yeah.
And it makes everyone think of the singer.
Yes, an Irish singer, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
No, it made me think of Yaks, the animal, and then I thought of Ace Ventura going Yak.
Yeah, they need to launch it with Ace Ventura saying that. Yeah,
it's because Skoda's electric cars are all going to begin with E, and then all their SUVs end in a Q. So they had to think of something which went to join an E and a Q somehow, and that's what you end up with. It seems
Lotus have done that.
Yeah,
No,
Lotus have taken all the E names.
Yeah.
They've not left any for anyone else. Yeah. I like the idea of the Evija though, because it backwards, written backwards, it's not the same as seeing it backwards when it says alive, and I think that's actually quite cool. Whether that was a fluke or they actually designed it like that. So yeah, if you put Evija in a mirror, in your rear view mirror, for example, it says alive, and I think that's kind of cool because the E they've not given the vertical line, so they just kind of kept it. Anyway. Google it, you'll see, flip it around, it says alive. Cool, excellent. Any more on your list, Alan, before we move on to some red green questions?
I have the Toyota Deli Boy, the Suzuki it's a little van thing, the Suzuki Mighty Boy, which is another famous one.
Yeah.
And the only other one I have on here is the Nissan Sunny, which was just such a flipping awful name, really. When you think about it, it's just like, why would you call a car a Sunny? It's just dumb.
It was called the Datsun Cherry before that, wasn't it? And became Sunny.
Cherry.
Oh, that's a separate car, though.
It's a natural progression of life, you know. Cherry, Sunny, you know. It's
yeah.
Don't forget, I've got some cheeky ones.
Okay. Yeah. Go on.
I don't know if I disappeared, didn't I? So sorry if someone's just said this. So we have a Daihatsu Naked.
Oh, of course, yes, yeah.
Really
which is like that minivan type thing.
KK, yeah.
Really pretty.
No car is likely to induce nakedness less. Let's be clear.
I think they're really cool, but I'm a bit weird about these things.
They are kind of cool, but would you feel like stripping off and getting in the back? Just be fair.
Not really.
Not really.
And then we have a Great Wall Wingle.
Yes, the Great Wall Wingle.
Oh, Wingle.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You got loads of these, haven't you?
Yeah.
The Naked Wingle. Yeah.
And then on a very similar theme,
Naked Wingle.
the Mitsubishi Minica Winky. It's a Winky.
I've never seen that before. What?
Ah, there you go. You've taught Conor something.
There you go.
He's never seen a Winky before.
You show me around a Winky.
And then just one more, which is a bit vulgar, cheeky. It's another miniker, but it's a lettuce.
The lettuce, yeah, that's right, yeah.
So there you go.
And so some of these offshoots are just fantastic. There's a Honda called the Honda That's, which is, you know, with the apostrophe. There was the Honda Life. They did a dunk version, which I think I put on Twitter earlier. The Honda Life dunk.
It's cool.
And it's just I remember I did a lot of research in a former life for an insurance company, and there was a Subaru of some sort that had a spec which was the anti-seat seat. So I'm not sure what that seat was, but it's something like a Subaru Legacy BRX something anti-seat seat, which probably made sense over in Japan, but over here it something was definitely lost in translation, and I think that's a good way that we see some of these cars.
I've got this vision of a church pew of just this wooden bench where you just flagrate yourself for enjoying that drive. I have sinned.
Damien, you know I've got a Fiesta ST. They don't they don't put in the branding that it's, you know, fuel injection. They don't put that.
Oh, the ST injection. Yeah.
Subaru did.
Whereas Subaru
did, yeah.
Oh, they actually did.
Yeah. STI was the
Oh,
Subaru Technica International or something like Subaru. Someone can probably correct me on that, but yeah, there's lots of STIs in Subaru.
When I first got my Peugeot 106 500 years ago, and it was part of the Zest range.
Yeah.
And I absolutely just hated that Zest. What was that? I just didn't like it. Yeah, so I got them to take all the insignias off from every possible place they could.
It came with a free lemon, I think. But who had the STD moniker? Who was it used to use that?
As a couple of people had that. I can't think.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
No.
I've been around driving a car with, what do you drive? Oh, I drive a whatever it was, STD. Fair enough, mate.
Naked.
If you don't mind, I'm going to take my naked home, and I'm going to get naked by myself if you don't mind. You're all right.
Yeah, my winky's got.
I'm going to get my winky home. Yeah.
I'm gonna be naked with my winky and my STD.
Can you imagine if they did a winky STD? You'd be like,
they must do. That appeared in Escort, and
I'm sure that I'm sure that would scratch an itch for someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
or create one or the other.
There is one car actually, which I was going to say it's just because it had nothing to do with the actual car itself because it was so dull. There was a car called the Applause.
The Daihatsu, yeah.
Daihatsu, yeah.
Which I just think, because some cars, like, you know, the name bears no relation to the actual car itself. So there is that.
Yeah.
And there's also a car, it's kind of a dull name as opposed to a bad name. But the Austin Mini in Denmark, when it was launched, they called it the Partner.
Oh, okay.
Sort of a non-name.
Yeah, it is really.
It's a perfect name for a beige British car. It's like Terry and June. Oh, this is my partner. It just sits there. It just sits there and is a car.
British cars in the 70s, didn't they all have names like the Princess?
Yeah. Was it Peugeot Partner?
Yeah, there was a Peugeot Partner. Yeah. Oh, but what's that weird one? That's this Citroen.
The TP.
No, the Citroen Jumpy.
Jumpy.
They rebranded it as a Dispatch here.
Yeah.
There's a Tippy as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
Just like
yeah.
Well,
Lingo TP or something.
Before we move on to red and green, Richard, wasn't there an Up special edition Up?
Yes, I believe in Germany there was an Up, well, two Ups, one white and one black, but they were called Black Up and White Up.
Oh.
And then outside over here.
They rebranded over here.
Okay,
Black Up and the Up.
I've got a thing about the Up. It was such a clever little name for a car, but they never did anything with it. So why is the Up GTI not called the Speed Up?
True.
Whoa, where have you been?
Actually, I think in Germany there was a cheer up as well.
I could do the cheer up now.
Yeah, me too.
There's a crossover version called the Up Up.
I have a cross up.
It's the cross up.
They should have a beige one called fucked up. Oh, sorry, I can't say that. I crossed the line. Sorry.
You're right,
messed
right.
up. Messed up.
Messed up. Yeah.
Well, even better, you could have Winky up.
Right.
Right. On that note,
Damien,
okay.
this was not even safe for the internet. Sorry, mate.
It's all right. We're nearly at 9 o'clock. It's fine. We're nearly at 9. We usually unleash LA at 9 o'clock, but she's here early. But what we
watershed?
Yeah. Don't worry about any watersheds. It's fine. So Conor, this first time on here, I don't suppose you've got anything close to hand which is red and something which is green as well. Because what we're going to do now is just run through a few quick fire questions where you agree or disagree by holding up red or green. If you haven't, you can just do thumbs up or thumbs down if that's easier for you. Has everyone else got anything green and red to hand?
Right.
Looks like Andrew's got something green and black. Is that red?
No, that's maroon B. That's maroon B. That's red.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Sorry, are we going? Are hues allowed? This isn't being read by an internet robot. This is a machine going.
I spent a month writing about colors when I had writer's block, so that's maroon B.
Okay. So green or maroon, but or thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one, I like driving on motorways.
It's country specific, but
yeah. Richard's gone green. Okay. Next one. I have been a victim of car vandalism or theft.
Oh, theft. Yeah.
Oh God, yes. Can I tell a story?
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Yeah. I've had loads of minis. I've had 6 minis, and the second mini I had was a Cooper S 53, gorgeous car, and I was visiting a friend. We'll just leave it at that. I was visiting a friend for a brief period, but not what you might think. But I had to pop out, and somebody in 10 minutes had managed to actually unscrew the door mirrors and steal them.
No.
I once caught somebody trying to steal the headlight from my Mini. He managed to get the ring off. It's like there's one screw at the bottom.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah.
The ring off. And I caught him while he was trying to get the headlight out of it.
Yeah, no. Wow. Yeah, no, because he stole both of them actually. I mean, props to the guy. I mean, I was annoyed. You know, I was. I won't use an Alan Bradleyism here, but I was a little bit annoyed.
I mean, have you ever been a victim of anything where you have to stand back and just admire the ingenuity and the cleverness involved in what they've actually done?
Well, I once had I had an MX-5 and I'd parked it with the roof down, which was just asking for trouble. And I came back to someone had put an opened condom in the middle between the two seats. So I was like, okay, thanks for that. Nice. You kind of had to admire them somewhat to go, okay, that's more than just throwing stuff at it. So yeah,
winky man all the way.
Well, that's true. Actually, I do. If you were a kid, for example, I mean, Christmas Day many years ago, I had my dad's car was broken into, and a Beano annual was stolen on the day it happened. Now, Conor will remember this program.
What did the police say?
This is directed to Conor, and I used to for a whole year. I used to watch Garda Patrol. That's the equivalent of Police 5. To see whether or not somebody had found a Beano annual and brought it to the local police station.
Garda Patrol, Jesus Christ, that takes me back. Garda Patrol is sort of a mix of Crime Watch and
Police 5. It's
Police 5.
Yeah, kind of Shaw Taylor program. You know what I mean, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with Garda.
But with Gardaí are like the Irish police basically, but they would sit there with this, you know, the way how English coppers have a way of speaking, so do Irish, and it's never everything. No matter what happens, it involved a vehicle.
Vehicle.
There was a Nissan vehicle stolen from Mount Ard Road. The owner, Irene, she's very upset, and this is how it would go. And you're sitting there watching television, going,
So what
really?
was this?
Surely
the
somebody's
80s,
been
90s?
murdered in the past week.
Oh, this
How
was
long
the
ago
80s.
was this?
This was
The
the
80s.
This was the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the 80s. Yeah.
I was a 7-year-old kid, and I've been cynical ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bear in mind, we had probably 2 channels, maybe.
I was
At the
going to
time.
ask how many channels you had at the
Yeah,
time.
so
Yeah.
you
No, I had all the
choice.
channels. I had all the channels. I was from Leopardstown.
But Andrew, you're Dublin based, right?
I'm actually talking to you from overlooking Dublin. I'm in a place called Ticknock. So I'm.
Oh, I know Ticknock. I used to live in Stepaside. This is slightly off. See, I told you.
This is what happens, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we used to always be in envy of people living in Dublin because they were able to pick up the English channels. On a clear night, if you're like really fuck off. Sorry, I said it again. If you're a really strong antenna, you could pick up the English channels. Whereas we were down in Cork, where we could basically we had a shipping report if we were lucky.
HTV though, wouldn't you? You get HTV.
What? No. We get nothing. No, trust me. Honestly,
He still bears the scars. Yeah.
I practically wrapped the house in tin foil to pick up anything, but Garda Patrol or whatever the equivalent was on the other channel on a Thursday night. Anyway, I told you. I told you I'd say
Right.
But anyway, there you go. Sorry, what was your question?
I was going to say, thanks to British television, I came out, so I'll leave it at that.
I've got something to do at 10 o'clock. Can we hurry up?
We're just catching up, Elliot. We're just catching up.
Yeah, this is what's happening. I still think you're in the same house and you're just tricking us here.
We're actually the same person. Did you not realise? I just take the glasses off. Actually, we're both wearing glasses. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
Anyway, next one. Okay. My current car is the best I've ever owned.
Oh, what? For what reason, though?
Well, is there any car that you've had in the past that you'd rather have than the one you've got now? In which case, I guess it's a no.
All right then.
Okay. Next one.
Best is just love. Just what do you love it? Do you love it more than anything you've loved before?
Yeah.
Do you love it more than your winky? Or your light dump?
I don't have a winky. I don't have anyone else's winky either.
But you know what? Do you know what? I'll tell you what. A light dump it's way underrated.
No, the rule is if you don't look back at your car after you've got out, parked it and got out, if you don't look back at it, you've bought the wrong car.
I agree completely.
Spot on.
You keep looking back at it.
That's a great one there, because Near would actually, he's getting a cool car next, so he'd be looking at his car.
Yeah, has that turned up yet, Near?
The little one. I'll show you.
You got the mini one.
I ordered 2 cars 2 weeks ago.
You can't even remember what they are.
It's actually a massive change.
He's in denial, mate.
Did you go off to check what they were? Order 2 cars. Let me just check what they are.
After 20 years of Alphas and 26 years of Italian cars, I ordered my very first Japanese car. And
I thought you were going to say German there. I was
Japanese.
The little one arrived today.
Yay!
Should have the real one about a month from now.
What is that?
Is that the Toyota or the Subaru?
It's the Subaru BRZ.
The Subaru vehicle.
Z.
that right there is that vehicle is illegal. You realise that, don't you?
Do you know actually? When Neil was mentioning his car last week, do you know in sorry, this is so Irish focused tonight. I'm sorry. There used to be a BRZ in a car dealership in a Subaru dealership for 2 years unsold.
Whereabouts was that?
And it was in a place called Bray. It's just beside Dublin.
I know where Bray is. Died.
Yeah, I nearly bought it. Yeah.
But that's shit little dealership that looks like someone's parked the car in the living room.
Yes. No. That's a Mitsubishi dealership. No.
Unnecessary. Unnecessary.
No, I was going to say no.
Referee, Damien, what are you doing here? You're letting this run amok.
I didn't realise
I was told you ran a tight ship.
I didn't realise they sold any in Ireland yet, Mitsubishi.
They do actually. Yeah, they do. I saw one today actually.
Lots of Pajeros.
Yeah, lots of Pajeros. No, there's a place in Bray that dealership looks like a castle. It's got castle. It's called Castle Street. cars or something like that. But they had a BRZ for years there. That gorgeous car. I think it's a cool car. Sorry.
Well, Near approves, and he is the guru of car design. So I think it clearly is a gorgeous car. Yeah. So let us know when you've got that, Near. We'll have a chat about how it is in real life. But it's about a month away.
It should be. It should be about a month or so. Yeah.
Okay. Back to the red-green questions. The next one is more of a yes or no, I guess. I've been to Le Mans.
No. No.
I mean, the race wasn't
Le Mans
on, but yes, I
Classic
have.
now.
Yeah, you've been to the town. Yeah.
I've been there on Euro Truck Simulator.
That's probably cooler.
Yeah. Okay, next one. I've been to Indianapolis.
No, it's a bucket list thing.
I've not been
The
to
bucket
the
list thing.
Brickyard, but I've been to Indianapolis.
That's fine. If you've been to Indianapolis, that's
There's a
fine.
picture of me kissing the bricks.
Have you? You've actually got that?
Yeah.
Okay. For people who don't know, that's worth a Google. If you wonder why Joe's kissing some bricks.
It's just what you have to do.
I'm talking about Indianapolis and such. Next question. American motorsports are underrated. Bit of a mix. Got a couple of greens, but mainly reds, I think. Okay. Next one. I would buy a brand new car without test driving it.
Ooh, no way.
It's a
I think
thing
that's
now,
what
isn't it?
people
Thing now.
who aren't car people do.
Yeah, it's kind of like
I
like
just
buying a
want it to
washing
get me
machine,
from
isn't it?
A to B.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay,
know
next-
about that because
No,
I mean,
that's not true.
yeah, because I mean, what do you really? If you're buying a performance car, you're going to drive a Ferrari. There's the aptly named Dick Lovett Ferrari dealership near us here, and we see them out. We see them out on test drives all the time, and I overtake them sometimes.
Yeah.
So what are they really experiencing? It's just it's a bit of an oil up, really, isn't it?
Mhm.
I don't know. Do you really?
I
Do you
think that-
really?
I kind of feel like that if I won the lottery, like a lot of money, not just like a fiver, then I'd literally just order a car and have it delivered. So that was
Yeah.
my philosophy on answering the question fairly.
But LA, would you not rock into a dealership? Just in your still, your fiver lottery clothes, and just kind of go. You know what? I'll just see what happens. I'd love to see it. Just rock in and go.
Mate,
Yeah.
I don't have fiver lottery clothes. I always.
I know you don't. I know you don't. But you're not. No, nonetheless, I'd still love to go in just the rag. Actually, when I'm finished work, just drag myself out from under the lotus and go. You know what? I'm going to a dealership. I'm going to buy myself a Ferrari. Or rock in and just see what happens.
Admittedly, years ago, my dad sort of earned himself a bit of a fortune. He kept for himself, but I'm not bitter. But he used to drive some nice fancy cars about, but he was always sort of a plumbing heating engineer. So he'd literally always be in his scruffs. And sort of the posher people of the town would just look straight down the nose at him and kind of think, what the hell's he doing driving that? Where it's like,
yeah.
don't care.
In all honesty, my dad does that when he buys cars.
Because
Because he will normally go for the next model of whatever, BMW 5 Series. He'll go and he'll order a 530 DSE and he knows what options he wants and he'll do it. And it took me years to realize why this happened. And it's because when he's ordering trucks or heavy plant or whatever, you don't always take a test drive. And you're spending $100,000 on, a tractor unit, a truck front.
Yeah.
And so you do that. So whenever it comes to speccing, a 5 Series, then it actually costs quite a lot less money. And he's just used to being able to do it. And he knows it's going to be a BMW. And he knows it's going to be a 5 Series. And he knows he doesn't want sport because it's too uncomfortable on Perthshire roads. So it's a 530 DSE.
Wasn't there a story years ago about like a certain percentage of 3 Series owners never bought their car, or never drove the car, they just bought it? Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
but they're probably doing it on company cars.
Yeah.
Car scheme,
But
they'll just-
I mean, I suppose the thing about it is what I think Conor said earlier on. I mean, most people, don't care about cars. Like it's a commodity.
I never said that.
No, I didn't. No, I mean, I suppose the difficulty is it's like, for example, like when motor journalists talk about things like steering feel and like
shuffle.
responses. Yeah, and nobody, normal people don't talk about that. I just saw
so you're making it great. That's a really interesting point, Andrew, because you're right. No, people don't talk about, it's a secondary ride, it's a bit wrong. But people know when they like cars.
Oh, absolutely.
They know what they know, Don't ever underestimate the I used to be a motor journalist. I did for 10 years, so I was sitting there just bullshitting away about lift off overseeing all this kind of stuff. But no one ever does that. No one ever. I remember driving the C-Max on the launch, going, "Why would you order this over a Focus? Because you get 2 inches of extra height, and then when you throw into a corner, you lift off. Oh, it doesn't oversteer like the Focus does. And then I bought 2 of them when I had a family."
Yeah.
Well, you see that. Well, that's a great point. You see, because most people it's like why, for example, does the Toyota Corolla sell why did Toyota Corolla sell so well? Because the reality is that it's a reliable car. It suits a lot of people's purposes. It starts in the morning. It's reliable, and when you change it, you'll get another car that's similar. I mean, I think most. Yeah, I mean,
as an Irishman, Andrew, I'm still confused as to why that happens.
Well, you see, the old days was the reason why the Corolla was a success in the first place was the only car that had the radio as standard. That was years and years ago.
We have long memories. Irish people have long memories.
Coming this Friday on the Motoring Podcast, review of the Toyota Corolla.
Yeah, should do. Go on, well, we'll leave the red green questions for now. Because I want to get I've given up. I want to get a
quick fire.
I know. That should be about 2 minutes. I've got a notepad of what's happening, and it's not when Andrew's on here. No, we've got Conor as well.
Just ban everyone from talking, and let's just get it done.
Just mute it, and you hold up your colours. No, that's fine. I want Conor to do a track day own scrap. So what we're going to do, I'm going to share my screen in a second, Conor. So if you let me know, or if anyone can let me know when they see the track day own scrap wheel, or at least a black screen to begin with, and then the track day own scrap. You can see, Conor, can you see the wheel yet? Or is it just a black screen?
I got a wheel now, yeah.
Got a wheel. Okay, so what I'll do is spin this 3 times. You can see there's cars around the edge of this wheel. They'll pop up larger when it's made its selection. And then you'll have to choose one to take on track for a one-off track day. One you'll own, and then the other one's just going to have to be scrapped. So let's get your 3 cars. The first spin. Now, a few of these will be familiar to people who've watched a few of these now, so they're starting to pop up again. So I always get the pronunciation of this wrong. I'm going to call it a Celine, but it might be a Saline or something like that. Celine S7.
The Saline solution S7.
Yes.
How do I choose? Car. What do I do with this? What do I do now?
That's just one of your 3 cars. So we're going to spin the wheel 2 more times, and then you'll have 3 cars to choose from.
Oh, okay.
So that's in your garage at the moment. Another one of our favourites has just popped up. Okay, so we have the Maserati 3200 or 3200. So I'll remove that. And your third car is the Toyota Celica GT4. And I think it might be the Carlos Sainz edition. So of those 3 cars, one you've got to scrap, one you can take on a track day, and the other one you're going to own. What are you going to go for?
How do we vote for this? Is there a voting system?
Oh, this is just for you, Conor. Just for you, Conor.
Oh, really? Oh, you're waiting for me to make a decision. Okay. Right. Well, the sailing track all day long. Fucking hell, I need to know what the 7 million horsepower feels on the track. So definitely that.
That's
the tricky one is then owner scrap, the Mazda or the Celica. So the Mazda if it's got boomerang tail lamps, then, and it's got a V8. Fuck it, I gotta own that. I gotta drive that and own that. So it's hard one. It's hard because particularly I've got a real affinity with Japanese cars, but that's really no. Actually, no. Keep the Celica because they're so rare, and scrap the Mazda because the Italians will come up with something else middling.
Yeah, I don't think that's the first time that car's been scrapped. It doesn't tend to get very far in the track day.
No. Scrap that, keep the Celica and track the Saline all day long.
Excellent. So you wouldn't be tempted to just have an absolute thrash in the Celica and then keep the Saline. You'd want to.
No, because any rally, I know this from Mitsubishi, any rally-based road special is amazing to drive on the road. So that's something you want to take every day just to go to get a pint of milk 75 miles away. Whereas the Mazda is not going to do it for you. It has a V8, it's cool, it has the boomerang lights, but it's going to go wrong. It's, you know, they'll all go wrong, but that's going to go wrong expensively. So yeah, scrap that.
Is that how far you have to go for milk in Ireland?
Have you been to Ireland? All we know is milk and potatoes. For Christ's sake, no. You don't have to go anywhere.
You didn't know about potatoes for a while.
Are we getting into that?
Oh my God!
What's that?
I'm Irish. I'm allowed to say it. I'm part Irish.
Oh, okay. Suddenly, she's
Although I did think you were saying the F word earlier, and I thought Irish people said feck, not.
They do say feck.
We do say feck. We say feck in polite company.
I see.
That's what you say in church. Ah, feck off, father. There's no way. There's no way she's getting married in this church, father. Feck off. No way.
Great, thanks for that, guys. Thanks for your selection there, Conor.
No worries.
I think the consensus will be we should get Conor back on for another go on ZoomZoomers one day. So if you're available, Conor, let us know and we'll get you back on another week. But for now, although we have obviously ran straight off past the hour, which we always do. I think we're probably going to call it a day there. We'll all get back to our lives. But thanks ever so much to everyone for coming along. As always, ZoomZoomers Mondays at 8 p.m. It's been another fantastic, a lot of laughs this time round. So it's been fantastic. But if you're watching along live, you're watching back, then please like the video, subscribe. There's a button at the bottom, an easy subscribe button there. It really does make a difference. I'm not going to do a guilt minute as per Alan Bradley because I haven't got a Patreon yet. So the next thing on your list of things to do is wait for Alan's motoring podcast to come out in a couple of days' time and listen to that. But hopefully we'll see a lot of these guys back and a few more of the old faces as well again this time next week. Until then, to everyone who's watching along, thanks ever so much for coming along, and I hope you've enjoyed the laughs, the language, and the Honda Life dunk.
I'm really sorry about that. Sorry all. Really sorry. It's
no worries.
I can't do anything about it. It's it's genetically programmed into me. I do apologize.
It's no apology needed. I'm sure everybody had a fantastic time listening along. Thanks ever so much, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.